Naomi Wong and Hannah Rohde. They are both biology students, but they are the best viola and bass combo that I know in all of Lenawee County. Maybe all of Michigan, I don't know. So anyway, they're going to play a couple of pieces, well, 4 pieces that I composed for keyboard, but they're going to play them in their own way for viola and bass. And I'll let Hannah take over from here. Thank you very much and enjoy the conference.
So as Pete said, we are going to be playing some of his pieces. Now he composed these pieces to imitate Bach's 2-part inventions. What a 2-part invention is just simply a duet kind of within 2 hands. So both are very equal with each other. They play complementary melodies, and they both play the same melody over and over with variations, and those are called motifs. Naomi will be playing her right hand, and I will be playing the left hand.
So the question is, how long have the two of you had to work on this piece? Yeah?
So how long we've had is since winter break. We probably worked on it for about a month.
Okay, worked on these for about a month. Okay. Any other questions from anyone who's in here about this? And I'm looking for questions that are coming up online, and I don't see any yet. Yes, Doran.
I think I missed this at the beginning, but so you transcribed, transreload something from Bach?
So he took inspiration from Bach in the sense of he wanted to write his own pieces, but he wanted to make two-part inventions himself. So he took the two-part inventions and how many he's making based off Bach, but he made them himself.
Yeah, so he started composing them on the piano, and then he transposed them into viola and bass.
Yeah, and actually, so they were written for piano, and they're just inspired by Bach. It's just like an etude for myself to put them together. But actually, these ladies went ahead and put them into their instruments, reading the piano parts, and we had to change some things around. We moved a couple things, moved some clef signs here and there to fix things, but they did all the hard work. I just wrote the notes, and you notice Hannah, actually, a lot of the time she's way up here in what we call the thumb position. And can you play a little bit of that third movement, just a little tiny bits of where you... So she's up in the cello range of the instrument. So it's really it's more of it's a difficult thing to play in tune, of course, up there, but she did a great job. And it's also it just takes muscle. It takes, and you've got that. It's good. You're a great bass playing, great viola playing. But they took these on their own volition. Also, a thing that Naomi had to deal with is the viola normally reads in what's called the alto clef. And so it's the clef signs, the ways the notes are. She went ahead and thought like a violinist and put it in the treble clef. A lot of the notes, she was pretty high up also in a high position because she doesn't have the strings, the one extra string or the higher string that a violin has. So she's having to work really high also. So it's a challenge for both of these young ladies. And they're biology majors. And it just makes me so happy. So, yeah. Any other questions for these ladies? Yes.
So I believe it was the second movement where it was like plucked strings instead of bow, is that the term? So how does that translate from piano to strings, seeing as piano's all just...
Individual choice. We wanted to shake things up a little bit, and we thought that one was a good one to play more of a pizzicato. So, and that's the plucking term.
Pizzicato. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that does break things up. It's a little more of a harpsichord-like sound. I don't know, but that's good. But yeah, this was one of their ideas to kind of bring change. Also, you were in 4 different key areas.
Oh yeah, so I was supposed to say that at the beginning. The first piece is in B flat major, the second one is in C major, the third one was in B minor, and the last one is in C minor. So that's where all the different tonalities came from.
Yeah. Any more questions for anybody? We still have like a little bit more time. Comments or questions?
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you all for being here, and we'll resume again in a few moments with Brianna for her piece on African American composers. So thank you so much, and thank you to Naomi and to Hannah. Wonderful work.
Welcome to Adrian, Michigan. We're located in a proud college town. Adrian College is situated just 45 minutes from Ann Arbor, Detroit, and Toledo. We're very excited to show you just a little bit of what AC has to offer. This is the gateway to our campus. Welcome to the place that we believe will change the rest of your life. AC features one of the most well-rounded educational experiences in the country. We offer over 60 different academic majors and 10 academic institutes, as well as dozens of student organizations. Year after year, we've been ranked as one of the nation's best colleges, including being one of the most innovative institutions in the U.S. for our medical programs. Our campus is simply beautiful. Our student-to-faculty ratio is an incredible 13-to-1. That means more attention for you and a much better overall learning environment. We know how to put together an education that is life-changing, and these are just some of the highlights. From our communication arts program, to our many performing arts, to the home of business on campus, to our sciences and medical studies, we have the spaces where you can grow into the professional that you want to become. Our first-year student experience is award-winning. You'll make lifelong friends here, meet mentors, and maybe even meet that special someone. The Kane Student Center is open 24 hours a day, and there's a lot going on here. The Bulldog Beanery has all of your hot drinks. Pause and Go is our on-campus convenience store. The bookstore is where you'll get all of your Bulldog gear, and you can just hang out and study in the skyboxes. Not far away is the Shipman Library. The Shipman has quiet, relaxing spaces for you to study in. You can check out books from thousands of libraries around the country, and the Shipman is open 24 hours as well for your convenience. There are hundreds of learning opportunities on campus. In addition to the arts and beautiful facilities, Adrian College is known for its athletic programs. There is nothing like a Saturday game day here in Adrian. The Bulldog football team are 11-time MIAA champions. At Docking Stadium, fans watch soccer, lacrosse, football, and more. Just a few hundred yards away, Adrian College's basketball teams compete. In addition to basketball, fans can enjoy wrestling, acro and tumbling, and volleyball here. We also have a state-of-the-art weight room available to all of our students. When things heat up too much on campus, you can cool off with our ice sports. Our NCAA ice hockey teams are constantly battling in the national playoffs. Just a quick walk down the service drive, we feature one of the best baseball and softball programs in the nation at our level. Soon you'll be able to cross the street and watch men's and women's rugby take to the pitch as well. Our rowing, crew, and top-ranked bass fishing programs compete out of the Adrian College Boathouse, a gorgeous facility just a 15-minute drive north on Devil's Lake. Our students know how to relax in their downtime. When they're not out and about, we have dozens of housing options on campus. With apartments right in the mix of things, you can pick what works best for you. We've also recently renovated a few of our housing options. Adrian College is a Methodist-affiliated institution that has been changing lives since 1859. The modern liberal arts education offered by our faculty is unrivaled. We can't wait to have you on campus and show you around. Visit adrian.edu to schedule a full campus visit today. We'll see you soon.
Yes, PowerPoint. It's probably just like this place.
We're still waiting on a couple of technical difficulty issues, but we will start very soon. I hope that everyone who's here has done their COVID check. They have that on their phones, and so I'm supposed to bring everybody be able to do this, be able to show that you got the COVID check. So thank you so much. All right. And we are live, but we're waiting on a couple of technical issues, and we may have to start without the screen. So we'll just see. We'll get Brianna started real soon here. Thank you so much.
Are you sure? Okay, I think we're good regardless.
So we're just the visuals.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. So sorry about the late beginning here. We had a technical issue, but this is Brianna Wilson, and discussing African American composers who most were unfortunately overlooked, but wrote great music. People like William Grant Still. And anyway, without further ado, let's get Brianna started, and she will also be accompanied through part of this by Wendy Rickard. So thank you so kindly.
Well, good morning. Welcome. Oh, we got slides. Great. And excuse me, I'm sorry. The slides are on automatic, or should I click them?
You'll have to click them.
Okay, that's no problem. Alrighty, well, good morning. Thank you everybody for joining me. My name is Brianna Wilson, and I am a senior vocal performance major at Adrian. Today, my ribbons presentation, I'll be talking about Black classical composers on the classical concert stage. Okay, so the contribution of Black American composers is well known in the spheres of popular and sacred music such as jazz, R&B, gospel, and spirituals. However, there has been an undeniable neglect of works by Black composers on the concert stage and opera stages in America. While social injustice have caused many of these works to be buried or unpublished, there is in fact a treasure trove of art songs and arias that display equal creative excellence to many of the works that classical world celebrates. Through this presentation, I will explore classical songs written by Black American composers. We will be discussing the 3 W's today: who, what, and why. Who were these composers? I'll provide a short biography of each composer, and then we will discuss some of their personal life, their accomplishments, trials and tribulations, anything that contributed to the music that was created. Second, we will be discussing the content that was created as well. What are some of their notable works? How many symphonies did they create? Did they only create choral music or symphonies? What are some of, what are some of the awards they won? What makes their music so substantial? Today, I will be performing a few of these selections by said composers and providing information in regard to the pieces sung as well. And then finally, I will conclude the presentation by discussing why it is important to discuss Black classical composers. So many of these people have faced prejudice, sexism, racism, and now in the present day, we need to share their stories and let their voices be heard. So, our first composer today is Mrs. Florence Price. Florence Price was an American classical composer, pianist, organist, and music teacher. She is a pioneer for women in the classical music genre. Price is noted as the first African-American woman to be recognized as a symphonic composer and the first to have a composition played by a major orchestra in the U.S. Born in Little Rock, Arkansas in 1887, Price showed very, very great musical talent at a young age. She gave her first piano performance at the age of 4, and her first composition was published at age 11. She graduated high school at age 14 and enrolled in the New England Conservatory of Music in Boston. After some years of teaching, she eventually settled in Chicago, Illinois with her husband. In 1932, her big break finally arrived when she won several prizes at the Wanamaker Music Competition contest, and Price won first prize in the orchestral category for her symphony in E minor. Her success attracted the attention of Frederick Stock, the music director of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. He conducted a performance of her first symphony with the CSO on June 15, 1933, at the Century of Progress exhibition, and Price became firmly established as a composer of note and the first black woman in American history to have a symphonic work performed by a major orchestra. Florence Price also made significant friendships during the 30s, including the pianist and composer Margaret Bonds and contralto Marian Anderson, who sung Price's spiritual arrangement of My Soul's Been Anchored in the Lord in a broadcast from Prague on May 6, 1937. This performance put Price on the map. With 75,000 people attending and many more listening on the radio as well, Price won overnight fame. Unfortunately, she struggled to keep a roof over her head, but she was saved by her friends. She suffered from very poor health, and most of her adult life was spent in the hospital. And when she finally rose to fame in 1953, she was flying to Europe when she unfortunately suffered a heart attack and died. Today I will be performing the song Night. It is based on a poem written by Bessie Mail and published in The Crisis, which is an official journal of the NAACP, in 1930. Florence Price's Night exemplifies several aspects of the understated beauty and richness of her style. Black poets of the early 20th century often used the beauty of the blackness of the nighttime sky to celebrate the beauty of their own blackness and to subvert traditional poetic images that viewed the darkness of night as an increment on the light of day, a symbolically potent subversion that implicitly encourages blacks to recognize their own blackness as something autonomous and inherently beautiful rather than an encroachment on white dominance. The text symbolically equates the rich, dark beauty of the sky with the stars against which the blackness of night is most evident are very, very old stars of yellow gold. This line is a pointed reference to the slave trade that brought many blacks to the U.S. And yet, even though those glittering brilliance of the stars is what most poets have commented on, Mail's poem and Price's music adopt a warm and embracing tone which ultimately affirms that the beauty of blackness and night are what will always endure and always return. Price decided to end with a sustained high note on the word evermore, emphasizing the importance of that persistence in preserving and celebrating black music. And now I present to you Night by Florence Price.
Thank
composers. He was born in Woodville, Mississippi in 1895 and raised in Little Rock, Arkansas, where his mother was a high school teacher. He began to study violin at the age of 14 and taught himself to play a number of instruments. Still entered Wilberforce University in Ohio, where he conducted the university band and produced his first attempts at composition and orchestra. Although his abilities as a performer and arranger led to many opportunities for him beyond the concert hall, and he was very inspired by the career of Samuel Coleridge Taylor to become a composer of concert music and opera. He left Wilberforce in 1915 and began to work as a freelance performer and arranger. His work in the world of commercial music lasted throughout his career, including film scoring while living in Los Angeles during the 1930s. And he worked as an arranger for theater orchestras and early radio as well. William Grant Still's career consisted of many firsts. He was the first African-American composer to have a symphony performed by a professional orchestra in the U.S., the Symphony No. 1 Afro-American. The piece's New York premiere was given by the New York Philharmonic Orchestra at Carnegie Hall in 1935. He also became the first African-American to be performed by a major opera company. He also became the first African-American to conduct a major symphony orchestra in the United States, where he led the Los Angeles Philharmonic in 1936. His opera Troubled Island was the first by an African-American to be performed by a major opera company in New York City. And that same opera was the first by an African-American to be nationally televised. Still's concern with the position of African Americans in the U.S. society is still reflected in many of his works today. William Grant Still died in his Los Angeles home on December 3rd, 1978. Today I will be performing Grief by William Grant Still. Still composed Grief in Los Angeles in 1953, following the poem by Leroy V. Brandt. According to the unpublished letters of William Grant Still to Leroy V. Brandt, Brandt was accompanying his friend Theodore Simmons, a music student, to a local cemetery where he saw a commonly seen statue of an angel with its head down, enclosed in his arms, weeping. The same statue inspired Brandt, who wrote the lyrics as a poem, which he sent to Still, who set it to music. According to Judith Ann Still, daughter of William Grant Still, her father preferred his original title, Weeping Angel. The song was not commercially published until 1955 by the Oliver Ditson Music Company. The first public performance of the song took place on May 23, 1954 at the Villa Montebello in Saratoga, California. The performers were Theodore Simmons, tenor, and Barbara Simmons on piano. And now, presenting Grief, William Grant Still. and his name is John Rosamond Johnson. Excuse me. John Rosamond Johnson was born on August 11, 1873 in Jacksonville, Florida. He is one of the more important figures in black music in the first part of the 20th century, usually in partnership with Bob Cole or his brother, James Weldon Johnson. While he is chiefly remembered today as the composer of the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, he had a varied career as a pianist, songwriter, producer, soldier, singer, and actor. He began playing piano at the age of 4, studied at the New England Conservatory with Samuel Coleridge Taylor in London. By the end of the 19th century, Johnson was teaching school children in the Jacksonville region. He moved to New York City in the 1900s and plunged into the musical life. After contributing a song to Williams and Walker's Sons of Ham, Johnson teamed up with fellow composer Robert Cole, with whom he began creating a vaudeville act and writing songs, occasionally assisted by his brother. Johnson's composition skills were the strong points of his musicals and vaudeville performances. Johnson's harmonic language is considered to be the richest of all other black theater composers of his time. Johnson performed as a pianist in a concert of Negro music at Carnegie Hall. When World War I broke out, he received a commission and served in the war. After the war, he toured with his own group and even sang and played the part of the lawyer in the original production of Porgy and Bess in 1935. Johnson died on November 11, 1954. Lift Every Voice and Sing was originally a poem by Johnson's older brother, James Weldon Johnson, in 1900. It publicly performed first as part of the celebration of Abraham Lincoln's birthday. In 1919, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People dubbed it the Negro National Anthem. This song is a prayer of thanksgiving for faithfulness and freedom, with imagery invoking the biblical exodus from slavery to the freedom of the Promised Land. This song has been used by so many African Americans. It represents endurance, freedom, suffering, and joy. This poem celebrates the victory and liberty of African American people. It also gives an account of their painful path and discusses the way that we have struggled for their betterment. And now, I can't do it.
Yeah, we're
running out of time.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you everyone for coming.
Yeah, thank you all for being here. But we're stuck on the time limit. We have to be done officially by 10 after. But I suppose if you want to go ahead and perform it after this is gone, because Josie cannot have hers. Would you like to go ahead and perform just this piece?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is not. But thank you so much for Brianna. Any questions for Brianna? Super fast.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So if you want to go ahead and just perform that as like an outro, and we can even fade it out, then that would be good.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Were you expecting Josie?
No.
No.
No, she will not. She cannot be here today.
Okay.
But I just know by the timeline for people to get to the next thing, I have to keep
That's
it.
fine.
Stop. Okay. Thank you.
Liberty,
questions, concerns? I'm sorry the presentation got cut a little short. We have some technical